In Kenya, there are two occasions when allegedly Jesus appeared to Kenyans. One appeared in Nairobi and another one appeared in Mlima, mountain region. So I want to talk about the two, although I've touched in brief about the Kawangware issue, but I'll repeat it. I'll start with the incident in the mountain, where Christians believed that they have seen Jesus descending from the clouds. There was a military officer, a military pilot, who was a Kenya Air Force pilot, who was on his exercise around the mountain. Then his plane had a problem. His plane had a problem. He had to eject. Wherever the plane went and fell, it got burnt. But he parachuted himself down to the ground. Now, on the ground, there are some people who had gone. You remember, this is Mount Kenya area. These are, we have some religious organization. For the lack of a better example, I would say like a Corino. So these people used to go to the mountain and beg Jesus to come back every now and then. If you are a member of that church, maybe you have been doing that for even 10 years. Every time they would go to the mountain, requesting Jesus to come so that they see him. So as they were doing so, this pilot parachuted to the field. After parachuting to the field, they were shocked. They were pleasantly shocked. They were shocked that their prayers had been answered. Now, they wanted to go and touch Jesus. You see, as Christians, we believe that you meet Jesus, you touch him, your problems are solved. Salvation is in with you. And when you die, obviously you'll go to heaven. So these people surrounded him and they wanted to approach him, thinking that he was Jesus. As a pilot, he had dressed he had dressed in such a way like if you meet a border fellow, can you differentiate it? So there was no way of them knowing that the pilot was an African or anything. He was in we call a vacuum suit. So there was no way to know whether he's an African, a Jew or anything, something like that. So when he landed, they were ready to go and touch him, so that just touching Jesus, all your problems are solved. As they were going, each one would want to go, but they had the body was the spirit wanted, but the body was weak. So as they were going, approaching him, he did not know that these people had religious connotation or anything. And he was a smoker, a chain smoker. So he felt that before approaching these people and maybe inquiring where he is and how he can get out to the nearest place, he took out a cigarette and a matchbox and lit a cigarette. Everybody ran away. Said, if we thought it was Jesus, but now he's smoking. You see, people believe smoking is unchristian. So they took off. Smoking has no relevance to Christianity, because smoking started many centuries after Christianity. But how people came and associated smoke, alcohol, taking of alcohol was there. People getting drunk and so on were there during biblical time. So the Bible has addressed issues to do with alcohol, where on one side, uh, Jesus was converting water into wine. And then wine is being referred so many times in the Bible, in both good and bad thing, because it is even talks of this Noah who got drunk, and when he got drunk, he stripped naked. So it is showing that if you drink, you can misbehave. But cigarette is not mentioned in it. But this somebody came up and said smoking is devilish. I've never smoked in my life, but we have to say that. So when he took out the cigarette and started smoking, he found himself alone. Now, nobody could touch him. Everybody was running away because he said, the devil's angels have alighted, and so you go near that person, you are doomed. So they ran away. They left him in the forest. And where could he go? He had no place to go. He had nothing to do. Now that comes to a topic that is taught in military academies. Can I call them academies? Yeah, there's this thing that is taught there. And this is the thing that he applied. A very good teacher for, it's called survival tactics, yeah. A very good teacher of survival tactics was the late Kaisere. Kaisere was a very good teacher in survival tactics. Now he remembered his survival tactics. The survival tactics said that the best place you can go if you found yourself in a forest where you don't know is you go to a river. You go to a river, and then when you go to a river, look at a place where you think people usually come to collect water. People come to collect water, and come to that place. Just wait, because somehow a lady will come to collect water for her homestead, and that is when you'll get the direction on how to get to the main road and all the way back to Isili. Or even maybe it is reported to the chief and so on. So he went to the nearest river, and you know those are the deep. It's right deep. If you have known about these people who are religious, they like going to the mountain at those very edge areas of the mountain. When you go there, you go to those very deep areas of the mountain. So those are the areas that people don't go there. And he had to way down until he found a river. And then he followed the river down up to a place where he believed that people draw their water. But as he was going there, he spent about a few days, about 2 days. He remembered another tactic that is used in survival. The tactic is that you have to feed yourself on leaves. On leaves. Now, leaves, the leaves that you unplug, and the leaf removes something like milk, you are discouraged from eating such a thing. Eating such a thing, you are discouraged because most of the poisonous things are that way. 2, you eat leaves because in such a situation there are only 2 things you can have. Like him, he was lucky it's a place where there is water, so he can take water. And also there are trees and whatever. So he had to survive on leaves. Now, checking on the leaves, we have removed the leaves that are producing milk. It is not recommended. Most of them are poisonous. Then these other leaves, they are told First of all, start eating little by little. And if you eat and you start feeling dizziness, then it means, when you eat little and you start feeling dizziness, then it is poisonous, you do as whatever. So from there, he went until reached a place where information reached the chief, and it was passed to the nearest police station, and he was rescued. So that is the first time. That is one of the two times. I'm not saying the first time, but one of the two times that it so happened. The other time, I think I've mentioned it in passing in another video, but I'll repeat it here, is when uh, there is a lady who recently died. She was called Akatsa. She had brainwashed her people. Now today I'll not talk much about her because I've already recorded something about her. But there was something that she told people that their prayers could, she said that their prayers could make this, just like, was it Joshua, who made the sun stand for some time. He said that, she said that she could make a star not move. So one time she prayed to people, and she pointed a certain shining something in the sky, which was visible during daytime and nighttime. And she told people that that is a star, that she had ordered the star to stay static. Now, a journalist, I think it was the Nation Media Group, journalists went and made their own investigations. When they made their own investigations, it was found out that they made their own investigations, and it was found out that whatever was static for those few days, it was a weather balloon, a weather equipment with balloons, which had been placed there by the meteorological department. So did somebody in meteorological department tip her or not? We will never know. Or she had a habit of knowing. There are people who, you stay somewhere and there is a certain plane that passes in your place every such a day at a particular time. So maybe she had come to realize that certain particular times there used to be that shining something. So she knew that it started at this time to us this time. So she called her people, her followers, and told them to look, and actually it happened that way, and they believed that she had stopped the star. Then she told them that I cannot just stop the star, I can bring Jesus here. Then the day she even told them the day Jesus would come. They did all their preliminary things of welcoming Jesus. They prepared, they danced, they sang, whatever. Then there is a time she told them to close their eyes and have a long prayer. Yes, they had a long prayer and whatever. And when they opened their eyes, there was somebody in the middle who looked like Jesus. And those people were all over themselves praying and whatever. And he talked to them in a very pure Swahili, coastal Swahili. It was later discovered that he was an Indian. So from there, of course, people would have expected him, after talking to them, maybe disappear, or they were expecting to see him ascend back to heaven or something. But then he said he wanted to go to town, and a few people wanted to carry him. Whoever was lucky to carry him says that even remembers where he dropped him, and that fellow entered into the crowd around OTC. And that is what happened. Of course, there is somebody who usually visits Kenya. I've even seen him. He really resembles the picture we have of Jesus. But he never pretends to be Jesus. When you ask him, like Jesus. You say, everybody is made in God's image. You also look like Jesus. And he's a very humble person. So, excluding this thing about the humble person who resembles Jesus and whom, if you tell him you look like the Lord, he says to you, you are also made in the perfect image of God. The other two occasions where the lady told her followers that she was going to bring Jesus. But the other one, the one for the pilot, is not that he even, they used to visit there and they used to expect Jesus each and every time. When he landed in a parachute, they would have even worshipped him. They would have even worshipped him because they were bowing him to him. But when he removed the cigarette, the rest you know. Thank you for watching my video.